How are you, Ky-Ya?
Good, thanks. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. First of all, I'll show the jersey in a second for the screen, but absolutely love your work and want to know a bit more about you and where it all came from. So could I know a little bit about you and how you came to designing jerseys for different sporting clubs across the country?
Yeah, so obviously my name's Ky-Ya. I'm 18. I'm Wurundjeri Dja Djawarung and Yulay Ilumrung. So that's Melbourne mob, Bendigo mob in north east Victoria. So basically all my mobs are through Victoria. I also have German and Irish ancestry as well, which I like to acknowledge. And I started doing artwork through watching my mum. My mum's name's Ky-Ya Nicholson. She's designed some jerseys as well, like some AFL jerseys, Melbourne and Carlton, and she's really a well-known and respected woman in Victoria. And I grew up watching her do her artwork, and I've always been really mesmerised by it. And no one's ever taught me how to do artwork. I've just learnt through watching. But our style down in Victoria is really different and unique to any other mob around Australia. We don't do dot art or anything like that, because of our landscape. We don't have sand or desert, so we dot painting originated from fingers being imprinted into the sand. So we have more diamonds, circles, carving. We're a carving culture, so we'll carve into trees, and that resonates into our modern day art as well. So based on our landscape and stuff, depends on what our artwork's like. I've been doing jerseys for about 4 years now, like professionally, kind of, you'd say. I've been doing artwork my whole life, but professionally my first one was for Barak Soccer Club. And then I've just been getting asked since then by clubs, and through contacts and programs I've done, people asked me to do it. So yeah, getting a good reputation now.
I'll just show it up here quickly. So yeah, you've stolen one of my questions, but thank you about the dot. So I'm from the Kamilaroi tribe, in far northern New South Wales, even though I've never been, and actually from Josh Hazelwood territory, and that's sort of the front as well. Can you talk to us a little bit, for those who aren't super familiar with the culture around the circles and what that represents on the jersey?
Yeah, so the circles are really important to my mob and all of Australia, representing there's no beginning, there's no end, just like Aboriginal people, Aboriginal culture, how it's a continual cycle of culture and learning and knowledge being brought on. And the circles in this design represent all the players coming together. So just uniting as one, and being in that circle shows strength and power. So
yeah, excellent. And as I said, there's you see that on lots of different jerseys through the different Indigenous rounds in the sports that we all watch on TV. There's an acknowledgement for your fourth great uncle Will on the jersey. Can you touch on that for a bit?
Yeah, so Uncle Barak, he's my my fourth great grandmother's brother. He's one of the first freedom fighters for Aboriginal Victoria. He was brought up on Corranderk Mission, which is in Hillsville. Sadly, in the 1800s, my family went from thousands of people to only 18 people. He was one of them people, and his sisters, where all of Wurundjeri people come from. We all come from one woman. So yeah, he was our last headman, chief, Nuttingita. So he's really respected and praised, and it's an honour to come from him. So he has some artworks and paintings that have been brought down from generation to generation, and that his style of art that he shows helps us to rekindle our own art, because a lot of our knowledge was taken away and our artwork was taken away. So we have to rely on him a lot for knowledge and stuff that's been brought down. Because sadly, a lot of our women's stories and women's business has been taken away from us because men weren't allowed, like European men weren't allowed to be part of women's business, so they wouldn't write down our stuff, you know what I mean? So he's one of our main sources of knowledge and wisdom. So yeah, he's very, very powerful man. And yeah, so I acknowledged him through the design on the back, which is the shield, and it's just a symbol of his strength and him being like the backbone of Wurundjeri. And
that one there, the one that runs straight down the back, yeah? And
those lines in the middle, that's their designs that are shown in his artwork. So yeah, just to acknowledge him. Yeah. Excellent.
Cool. How do you said that we rely on him like for so much of our historical context. Where is it? Where's access to all that stuff? How do you get access to it?
Not 100% sure, but being a young person, I'm not like in all the business and stuff, but there's dictionaries and books written from European settlers, and they would go and write and like not interview him, but like just they would be around him, living with him, learning things, language and stuff like that. So a lot of the knowledge is written down from him. So I'm not exactly sure where it all is. There's some of his artworks are in museums. Sadly, we don't have a lot of access to his stuff.
Okay.
It's been auctioned off and stuff, and we can't get rights to it. But just everywhere. Knowledge passed down as well through other elders, but mainly written. Yeah.
Awesome. Chance for you to brag a little bit. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the other designs that you have done for different clubs? And like a personal question for me is, do they vary much? So you've just gone into great detail about why the design on our shirt is what it is. Is it hard then to replicate other designs for different teams?
Well, basically what happens is I get asked by a club to do a design, and then I ask them what morals they want, what symbols they want, what they want me to include, and also whereabouts the team's located. Plays a major part in it, because I refer to the landscape and the story of that part of Victoria. For example, Melbourne Storm, I did their jersey last year, and I referred to and implemented the Yarra River into their design, because Amy Park's literally on the Yarra River. And I just implemented stuff that the players wanted me to include, so it felt more special to them. And like they actually felt a connection, and it's not just a pretty design or anything. So I did the Melbourne Storm jersey last year. I've done Melbourne Vixens jersey 2019, I'm pretty sure. I've done a few local clubs like Ky-Ya, Coburg VFL, Birrong Soccer Club. I've done the Dandenong Rangers WNBL. And this year I've designed the Carlton AFLW and Western Bulldogs AFLW jerseys. So I probably missed a few little ones there, but that's mainly.
Awesome. That's pretty cool.
Thank you.
How long does it take to do a design? Does it take like a day, or does it take like a month?
Usually the design just comes to my head, like the ideas, they all just come into my head, and then I sketch it very quickly, like within 10 to 20 minutes. But the process of digitalizing it and putting colors and fixing colors and making sure everything's perfect and to the templates and stuff, that's the part that takes the longest. And some designs take up to a couple months to get perfect. Some take a little bit less. But it really depends on the detail and the colors and everything.
Cool. Question for both of us, I guess, but how important do you think it is that awesome people like you keep designing awesome designs like this, in terms of being one of lots of ways that we can showcase our Indigenous culture to the general population and sort of help them appreciate and understand and remind them, I guess, a little bit that we're here, and sort of acknowledge where we've come from as a nation.
Well, I think it's really important because I think last year was the first year that the Indigenous Renegades had their Indigenous jersey. I think it's really important to showcase our culture in a positive way, and have that in the spotlight so people ask questions and people start the conversation of, yep, there's Aboriginal people in Victoria, there's Aboriginal players playing cricket. The first team to lead Australia was an Aboriginal cricket team. Just for them to start asking questions and having it in the mainstream spotlight, I think it's really important, and even to encourage and inspire like up and coming Indigenous players, and just for them to feel comfortable and celebrated.
Yeah. It's not even, for me, it's not even just players. It's like you said, you have Indigenous heritage, but also European heritage, as do I. And I think the role that little things like, well, little, it's big, right? But for someone that just glances across it on a screen, it's only little. But it's sort of normalising Aboriginal culture a little bit. And I've known a lot of people over the last few years that do have Indigenous heritage, but they've grown up in a mostly white society, and it's not always something that they're forthcoming with. So just normalising that and reminding people that it's here, it's all around us, it's people like Ky-Ya and myself, it's all types of different people, you know, that are Indigenous as well. So it's sort of normalising that a little bit, and hopefully getting more people sort of come along for the journey as well.
Exactly.
So, perfect. All right, thank you very much, Ky-Ya.